I think my boyfriend is a bad dad. Is that a deal breaker? My boyfriend, 40 meters, and I, 32F, have been dating for about a year and a half. COVID really ramped up the seriousness of our relationship and we've been living together for about 10 months. He is father to 2 boys, 15 and 10. The 15-year-old is only with us every other weekend and is a great, polite kid. I'm starting to think it's only from his mother's influence. BF splits 50-50 custody with the 10-year-old. His mom doesn't seem to put much effort into raising him. I don't think she could even tell you his teacher's name. This leaves the brunt of the responsibility on BF. However, he feels guilty that 10M doesn't get treated well at his other house and lets him get away with a lot. Bedtime on school nights is mostly a suggestion. There is absolutely no structure in the house. His report card says he's fallen behind in almost every subject because he wasn't focusing enough when he was doing remote learning. Neither BF or mom consistently checked in to make sure he was getting his work done. BF blamed it on the school. BF and I had an event last night we knew about for 2 weeks. BF made childcare plans last minute and as a result, 10M didn't go to bed until 12 AM. BF brought him to school late today because 10M couldn't keep his eyes open and BF needed to get work done before he took him to school. 10M is starting to take advantage of the lack of rules and has issues listening or will straight out lie to us. Otherwise, BF and I have a great relationship. We have tons in common and enjoy spending time with each other. We both do not want kids in the future. When he first moved in, I started helping with childcare and parenting. When I realized I was consistently the only one pointing out when 10M was supposed to be doing something, I stepped back and set boundaries. I'm new to 10M's life and don't want to be viewed as the bad guy. I focus more on being his friend and doing fun things with him. I don't have kids and I am admittedly a type A person who likes rules and structure, so I worry I am overreacting about this. However, sometimes it's really hard for me not to say my opinion about his parenting, but BF is very sensitive about the topic. He truly loves his kids, but his lack of planning and selfishness seem to get in the way a lot. My parenting style would be a total 180 from his, and I've been telling myself this is a good lesson that I can't control everything. I just am legitimately worried how this all will affect 10M's future. He is such a smart and awesome kid and I really want the best for him. TL, Doctor, I think my boyfriend is a bad dad. Is there any hope for us to have a healthy relationship? It's not just that he sucks as a dad. It's that he has 2 different children by 2 women and he does not seem to give 2 shits about either of them. This does not speak well about his sense of responsibility, and this will come back to bite you later. This 100%. He sucks as a dad and most likely not good in relationships long term. Do not have kids with this man. God. That's so difficult. I don't think anyone can tell you what to do about how to proceed with your relationship, but as for the kid, I think you did the right thing so far. His son isn't your responsibility. It would be weird if you suddenly stepped in, and also unfair to you. Parenting is an ungrateful job. You're his girlfriend, not his nanny. But I still think someone should let your boyfriend know this isn't working. Kids need both love and structure. Lack of discipline could ruin his future. Maybe you could contact a professional in how to approach this subject with him. Or is there someone else near him that could do it, or back you up in this? Personally, if considered leaving, I wouldn't do so without telling him he's not doing right by his son. It would haunt me otherwise. It's a really difficult situation though. You seem like a nice and reasonable person. I hope it goes well for all of you. Honestly, parenting styles seem like they should be something that lines up between 2 parties and is rather important. Kids are for life. So if it bugs you now, imagine 10 years from now how it will affect your view of him. If they move out and things go well, perhaps it's all fine. If they need support or they have relationship problems, it may not be as fun. If you don't agree with his parenting methods over homework, life only gets more complicated. It was a deal breaker in my last relationship. I cared more than either of the child's actual parents about whether he was polite, whether he stuck to his doctor-advised diet, whether he had consistent rules and bedtimes, really all the basics of parenting. Child was, in my opinion, disgustingly unparented. In contrast, my then boyfriend thought I had unreasonable expectations. You know, like expecting that the obese child not get candy every trip to the store, or that he not stick his fingers in the cupcake cake at a younger kid's birthday party, or that he go to bed before 9 and get to school on time. It doesn't matter if your boyfriend is a bad dad. It matters that you think he is. Father's truck is registered in my name. TLDR, father's truck is in my name. Unregistering it will make parents homeless. I, 25M, need some advice on what I should do about my father. 52M, he owes $116,000 for child support from over 20 years ago. Long story short, he can't have his license in MA because he owes this money. My mother, 50F. And sister, 22F, refuse to work, so he's the only one working. His truck is registered and insured in my name since he doesn't have a license. The electric bill is also in my name and it's at over $5,000 now too. I've moved out and live with my fiance. When he gets pulled over I get in trouble, of course, and he lies saying he was just borrowing the truck to drive down the street. I've talked to a lawyer about the child support he owes and I feel I've done everything I can up to this point to get my father to go explain everything to a lawyer, and he just won't because it's too much money. Do I just unregister the truck and leave him to have to sell it and his work tools and be done working and they become homeless? Or do I keep going as I am? Thank you everyone. Why can't it be in your sister or mother's name? They want to be mobile too, right? Else indeed, go the extreme way. It sounds like your dad will never get rid of his debt and he's going to saddle it on you. In your shoes, I think you need to put this decision back on your father in the form of an ultimatum. Tell him that keeping the truck in your name is causing hardship to you and that he has 30 days, or whatever, to go and see a lawyer or you will unregister the truck. In your shoes, I may even offer to pay the consultation with the lawyer, if money is the issue, because being on the hook for a couple $100 with a lawyer is better than being on the hook for the truck situation. In that scenario, emo, you can rest easy knowing that if he doesn't follow through with the lawyer, it's not you choosing to take away the truck and his livelihood, it's him making that decision. You also need to get yourself off that electricity bill and ensure no additional financial ties with your dad. If you have to pay the outstanding balance, so be it, but you need to stop the bleeding so it doesn't get even worse. But, one problem at a time, perhaps. Sorry for the difficulties your parents are putting you through, but now you have a bigger problem that will affect your ability to provide for yourself. Your parents are destroying your credit rating. Whether you are aware or not, this is also causing you to pay higher insurance for the vehicle in question as well. You're going to need an attorney. You're going to have to cut them off. Then with your credit rating destroyed, it's going to take you 7 or more years to get out from under this mess. I'm very sorry, but you need to take care of yourself first. You will have trouble buying a vehicle, getting a lease for an apt, buying a house. The utility companies will require you to make a deposit before you will get gas, electricity, water in your name. If your parents truly care for you, they should put your needs before their own. You need to cut your finances off from your parents as they will destroy your life options. You can help them, but not with your name underwriting their irresponsible behavior. Why is he driving a truck without a license? It doesn't matter if he's insured either way. If he has no license, he shouldn't be driving. My best friend, 21F, and I, 20F, are planning on moving to Hawaii for a month. But she wants to bring her boyfriend along for a part of the trip. I expressed my discomfort with this idea and she blew up on me. So my friend and I are moving to Hawaii for a job opportunity. We plan on staying there for a month or so. We arranged these plans back in November and have the flight and Airbnb booked. We are both splitting the cost of Airbnb between us. However, she now has a boyfriend and wants to bring him along with us for the first week of the trip, just for a few days. The main issue I have with this is, Our place is very small. There's one bed and a cot and it accommodates at most 2 people. My friend and I would sleep in the bed and he'd get the cot. While he is there, he wouldn't be chipping in for the rent and it'd be a tight arrangement. My friend is pretty adamant on bringing him along for a few days, but I've been hesitant about this idea because I had assumed it was going to be a girls' trip and I'm already spending so much money. I discussed with my friend that I'm uncomfortable with the idea but willing to move forward with it, as long as he chips in a third for his stay, because I know it'll make her happy. But she blew up on me saying that it's not cool to expect him to pay a third and that if she were in my shoes she'd be happy if I were to bring someone else along. Am I being a mean friend for saying no? Too long didn't read. My best friend wants to bring her BF along on a trip we had planned together. What to do? He needs to pay his share. It's not like you have a spare room which isn't being used. You actually are going to be affected by him being there. I actually can't see you and your friend sleeping in the bed. You will get turfed out so they can have sex. It makes no sense for him to pay for flights to and from Hawaii for a few days either, so he might not leave. Hopefully she has paid her share of the Airbnb already so she can't back out. The Airbnb host should be notified if there are extra guests. If they find out you haven't told them there is an extra person, you might get kicked out and lose your month's rent. Your friend seems to think the world owes her BF a free ride. It doesn't. Based on her reaction, I'm guessing that the guy said he wouldn't come if he had to pay, and she already invited him before she talked to you. People who lash out like that about their partners usually have insecure relationships. This is your trip. Her boyfriend has no right to it, especially if he refuses to pay. It sucks that this issue has tainted the whole trip, but you can blame your inconsiderate friend for that. You'd probably have a better time by yourself at this point. No normal person invites their BF on a huge trip without consulting the people that they made the plans with originally. Your GF is desperate to make this guy happy emo and you just threw a monkey wrench into her plan. Now she's throwing a fit. Don't let her bully you into thinking you're mean. She is mean for putting you in this situation. There's one bed and a cot and it accommodates at most 2 people. My friend and I would sleep in the bed and he'd get the cot. Nah, they're gonna end up on the bed and you'll get the cot. Is he not going to pay anything for the first week, even for food? He should at least pay 1/3 food and rent. My friend and I would sleep in the bed and he'd get the cot. I'm betting that changes by night 3. You are absolutely in your right to ask him to chip in. Don't let her bully you into thinking otherwise. Just a hunch here, but I'm thinking maybe he'll only go if it's free and she knows it. Put your foot down on the rent and he may not come at all. And it's also easy for her to say she'd do the same when you haven't asked her to. But if the roles were reversed, she might conveniently forget she said that.